Night on the island of Spiro. A young tenontosaurus has woken to strange sounds and wandered away from her herd, curious to find the source. It does not take long. The distressed Pachycephalosaurus is also lost and alone. Young and naive to the dangers that surround them, the pair are quickly distracted by the scent of food nearby. With each step, our young Tenno, henceforth named Penelope, moves further away from her herd. The pair find themselves on the edge of a cliff. Like most children, their lack of experience sometimes leads to misguided decisions. While Penny turns to look for a safer path to the water below, the Patchy takes a leap of faith. His distressed cries lead her onward, seeking her new friend and the only companion she now has. When they reunite a moment later, he is limping heavily. The fall has injured his leg. Whether it is broken or simply sprained remains to be seen. If it is broken, the Patchy will likely not last the day. By the next morning, the Tenonto is desperately hungry and must leave her companion behind. His injury is too grave. She must continue on her own. Several days pass, and Penny has found her way back to the nesting grounds where she was hatched. Unfortunately, her herd has since moved on. After harassing a passing pteranodon, she finds herself face to face with another young tenonto. This male is her brother, Legion, also separated from the herd while searching for his missing sister. His muddy exterior is difficult to recognize, but when the pteranodon returned, the ice is broken. She remembers him. Months have passed, and the pair of tenontos have grown into fine adolescents. They had learned quickly to rely on one another, although their youth often sends them into bouts of roughhousing and play fighting. As they continue to grow and mature, these playful moments will naturally decrease. The skills they've learned from their play, however, will be important to their survival in the future. Against all odds, the tenonto pair reach full maturity. At approximately 2 years of age, they've become fairly skilled and defensive fighters. Both are on high alert. There is a strange scent in the area, the thick smell of rot. In a nearby bush, they spot the source, an adult Ceratosaurus. These thick, muscular scavengers are most often drawn to rotting carcasses. As a result, they have a bacterial bite that can cause nausea and vomiting in those who dare to try and steal their food. This particular Cerato, however, is looking for a fresh kill. Legion, in an attempt to protect his sister, goes on the offensive. It is a close fight. Both tenontos have injuries that will need to be attended to. The bacteria will last in their systems if they do not take the proper time to heal, and an infection can be deadly. A few weeks have passed. The male's wounds are finally on their way toward healing, and Penny is in good health. They've been traveling through the night to reach the southern river. Exhausted, the pair lay down to rest. When she wakes the next evening, her brother is gone. Penelope has not been alone since her infancy. A solo tenonto is often targeted by carnivores more heavily than those in a herd. Without Legion by her side, she's in grave danger. She searches throughout the night, calling for him. A responding call gives her hope. It is not him, but the friendly pair are happy to bring her into their herd for the time being. As the newly formed herd returns to the southern river, Penny spots a Deinosuchus skulking on the shore. Agitated by the danger in the water, she goes on the offensive. This young gator isn't large enough to grab her or the other adult in her new herd, but their younger companion may be in danger at the water's edge. Penny attacks the gator, sending it scurrying back out of the shallows. Hungry dinos are not easily dissuaded, however. When another attacks, she fearlessly chases the second off as well. A few weeks later, Penny has separated from the herd. Unwilling to leave the area her brother was last seen, she stubbornly remains behind when they move on. A lone tenonto is a vulnerable tenonto, but a young packy living nearby helps keep her company. The area is teeming with carnivores, and Penelope and the Patchy remain together for safety. Nearby, a pack of raptors fights a Ceratosaurus. The smell of blood in the air is sure to attract even more carnivores. As they head for the safety of the forest, the Patchy suddenly screams in pain and fear behind her. A stealthy carnivores has taken advantage of their distraction. Furiously, Penny attacks in defense of her companion. Severely injured and bleeding heavily, the Carno retreats. The fury of Penny's attack, however, has drawn the attention of the nearby raptor pack. Having seemingly driven off the Ceratosaurus, they've turned their attention to the much less thick-skinned tenonto. Pain has a way of drawing your full attention. The raptors cautiously draw Penelope further from her patchy friend, up the hill to where the rest of the pack waits on a rock. As she crests the hill, the intelligent raptor's intentions are suddenly clear. Out of the bush comes the Ceratosaurus. It has not been driven off. Instead, it has laid siege to the injured raptors trapped on the rock. Stunned, injured, and confused, the Ceratosaurus attempts to flee from the extremely aggravated tenonto he'd made the mistake of attacking. Bleeding and tired, Penelope gives up the chase. The Ceratosaurus flees into the woods, leaving the tenonto to rest and heal from the minor wounds she sustained. 2 days later, Penny leaves the safety of the forest. She is desperately thirsty, blood loss having drained her body of what reserves it had over the time she rested. Her movements seem to have attracted the raptors. Unable to track down the injured Ceratosaurus, they are hungry. A solo tenonto trotting through the open field is a delicious target if they can bring her down. Penny cannot hold them off forever in her current state. As desperate for water as her body is, she feels faint. Blood loss at this point will kill her quickly. Not even a dino on the water's edge will dissuade her from drinking. Fear begins to set in as the raptor pack closes on her. She's bleeding heavily from the onslaught, and though she's managed to injure some of the raptors, they're not dissuaded from the hunt. As her strength begins to wane, a familiar roar echoes across the field. It is Legion. Strengthened by his presence, Penelope attacks with renewed vigor. The pair battle the raptor pack until Penelope's bleeding becomes too severe. She knows she must retreat soon or she will bleed out. Luckily, the pack calls a retreat first, and Penny is able to rest until the bleeding slows to a stop. Desperate for water, the pair take advantage of the darkness and vanish into the forest while the raptors regroup. Come morning, Penny and her brother return to the fields. Some of Penny's wounds have reopened, but the raptors seem to have vanished during the night. There is, however, no rest for the weary. The scent of blood has drawn in a pack of carnivores. Instinct takes over, and the tenontos fight back with ferocity, killing one and sending the other running. This area has become much too dangerous to remain in any longer. Penny and Legion retreat, heading for the mud pit where they can soothe their pain and stem any further bleeding in the cool mud. The breeding season has arrived. The natural instinct to breed has drawn Penelope and her brother into separate herds. As she and her new herd travel toward their future nest site, they pause to bear witness to the Stegosaurus migration. The enormous herd pass by in the night, fearless and strong. Over the next several weeks, Penny and her mate build their nest and incubate their eggs. Before long, she is the proud mother of 3 hatchlings. Unfortunately, on Spiro, peace does not last forever. Penelope leaves her young in order to get water. During this short moment, the Ceratos attack. Her mate rushes to her side, having seen them crossing the field toward her. He barks a warning to the rest of the herd to get the young to safety while the parents fight their attackers. The bacteria from the Cerato's bite leaves Penny nauseated and weak. She flees to the safety of a rock, calling for help from the rest of the herd and any other tenontos that might be nearby. Her calls are answered. One herd member returns to defend against the onslaught. And then another. It was him, as if returned from the dead. Her brother had heard her calls and comes to her aid once more. Having lost one herd member and killed one Cerato, Penny and her mate are able to back away from the fighting long enough to get water. Having been sick several times, they are on the verge of dehydration. Unfortunately, the remaining Cerato isn't done yet. His bloodlust is peaked, and he continues to threaten the herd. With the children hidden nearby, Penny will not give up her family without a fight. As Legion succumbs to his injuries, Penelope's heart shatters. She rushes forward in a blind fury. As they live, so they die, together. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and a comment. If you're new around here, or haven't already, please consider subscribing for more content just like this. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one.